Exposed. Did Carney and Trudeau's 2024 foreign spending scheme boost the right portfolios? Canada is entering a phase of political turbulence and public skepticism following the snap federal election of April 28, 2025, which resulted in Mark Carney becoming Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party. As the dust settles, serious questions are being asked about whose interests federal policies are truly serving. The heart of the debate centers on whether Canada's international spending is uplifting the country or simply enriching a select few with deep financial ties to the government. Canadians, still grappling with rising costs, strained services, and economic uncertainty, are right to demand answers. Among the most scrutinized issues is the federal government's expanding foreign aid and technology spending, particularly in countries like Chile and the United States. These aren't ordinary humanitarian gestures. They're highly targeted programs in sectors where Brookfield, a company with over 500 American corporate links and where Carney holds a vice chair role, stands to gain. Projects involving solar panels, nuclear reactors, and green tech training funded by Canada seem to line up eerily well with Brookfield's investment map. Many now wonder, is this climate action or portfolio padding? Take the SMR, Small Modular Reactor, training funds sent abroad. On paper, this initiative is about supporting the future of clean energy. But in practice, the money is benefiting American firms, while Canada's own nuclear innovation sector remains underfunded and underutilized. Critics argue that this move doesn't just lack foresight, it reeks of self-interest. The optics are especially troubling when one considers Carney's influence in Brookfield's energy subsidiaries, which stand to directly profit from government contracts. Energy development within Canada paints an equally concerning picture. For years, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has emphasized that pipeline delays are costing the country billions, particularly when oil is sold at steep discounts to foreign buyers due to lack of export capacity. He argues that the federal and provincial governments, especially in BC, have become too risk-averse, prioritizing red tape over practical infrastructure. Environmental reviews stretch for years, projects stall, and Canadians lose out on jobs, energy independence, and national revenue. The recent billion-dollar BC Ferries shipbuilding contract is another flashpoint. Instead of keeping the project in Canada, the work went to foreign shipyards. The decision shocked many who expected the federal government and provincial authorities to prioritize local industry. Poilievre calls it a disgraceful abandonment of Canadian workers, especially as the country's infrastructure bank helped finance the deal. While some officials defend the decision on the grounds of cost and capacity, many Canadians see it as yet another example of domestic potential being dismissed for overseas savings that come with hidden long-term costs. Meanwhile, immigration remains a deeply divisive issue. Canada's immigration system is among the most accessible in the world, offering streamlined paths for temporary and permanent residents. While this openness has helped address some labor shortages, the pace of population growth is placing immense pressure on housing, healthcare, and jobs. Critics argue that the system is being exploited, with some newcomers gaining rapid access to benefits, while long-time residents struggle. The growing sentiment among some citizens is not rooted in hostility, but in concern. Has the balance tipped too far, too fast? The healthcare system, particularly in provinces like British Columbia, is buckling under the strain. In 2024 alone, more than 1,500 people reportedly died while on waitlists for treatment. That statistic doesn't just speak to inefficiency, it signals a crisis. Yet even as domestic systems falter, Canadian money is flowing to international aid programs focused on climate, equity, and social resilience. For example, Canada sent hundreds of thousands to Chile for wildfire recovery and gender-based programs, despite lacking essential firefighting equipment like water bombers at home. Pierre Poilievre has channeled this frustration into a clear policy pitch. He promises to cut bureaucratic red tape, lower taxes, and rebuild domestic industry. He says it's time to stop exporting opportunity and wealth and start building an economy where Canadian workers, businesses, and taxpayers come first. His call to invest in homegrown energy, manufacturing, and healthcare resonates with many who feel left behind by Ottawa's globalist agenda. His tone is serious, direct, and unapologetic, traits that have helped him build momentum. On the other hand, Prime Minister Carney and his supporters argue that foreign partnerships are essential in a globally connected world. They believe Canada's leadership in green innovation and international diplomacy will secure long-term benefits that justify the short-term sacrifices. Carney defends these strategies as necessary to combat climate change, foster economic resilience, and maintain Canada's relevance in G7-level decision-making. In his view, global investment is not a giveaway, but a down payment on future prosperity. Still, there's a glaring trust gap. With financial interests overlapping public policy, it becomes difficult for average Canadians to believe the government is acting in good faith. When companies like Brookfield, which are closely tied to political leaders, profit from taxpayer-funded initiatives, the lines blur between ethical governance and personal gain. Without clear transparency and independent oversight, suspicion festers. Voters are no longer satisfied with broad claims of green growth. They want concrete proof that these policies serve the public good, not a privileged elite. And while the debate rages in Parliament, ordinary Canadians are feeling the squeeze. Inflation, rising rent, job insecurity, and waitlists for basic medical care aren't abstract concerns, they're daily realities. Many now view these foreign-focused policies as tone-deaf at best and corrupt at worst. They see a Canada that funds foreign solar panels while ignoring its own energy corridors, that ships work abroad while its youth face joblessness, that prioritizes international visibility over local viability. This moment is about more than partisan politics. It's a question of national priorities. Should our tax dollars build opportunities at home or support distant contracts? Should leadership be tied to ethical clarity or corporate entanglement? Canadians deserve leaders who act in their interest, with full accountability. As both Carney's Liberals and Poilievre's Conservatives gear up for the next wave of political battles, the choice between global ambition and local action may define the future of this country.